Are you ready?
Let me be the lesser of all souls. Let me be the best of all.
Channel登録よろしくお願いします。